if you're confused or you're uncertain or you're unsure and you're getting mixed signals from a guy, like, I'm saying this because I love you, like, girl, you are just part of the roster.
There will be a time in every woman's life, at least in the US, where you're gonna wake up to the fact that you've been sold an absolute lie.
You gotta move just like a man or you're going to lose.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, we have a video here from Insolent Audits titled "Men Are Refusing to Help Struggling Modern Women as Society Collapses." So we're going to be jumping into today's episode. As always, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Sometimes you'll meet someone who appears to have everything you're looking for in a partner, and they check all the important boxes, and a little time passes and you realize they're not very good at being in a relationship, or there are some key differences between the two of you that cannot be overlooked, and it can be incredibly disappointing. And likely your mind is going to be flooded with all these scary thoughts about not wanting to get back out there again and having to start all over. But this is really where you have to release your attachment to the dream and move on. The truth and the reality about dating is that sometimes it takes time to see if someone is actually right for us. And we have to embrace the uncertainty of it all. There is no certainty in the dating process. It's an adventure, and it has to be embraced. And the only thing that we can do is stay very true to ourselves, process our enthusiasm about someone with someone we trust, and have boundaries.
You all heard that directly from her. Women find a man that checks all the boxes, but then they find out they are not great at being in a relationship. Yeah, sister, men know exactly what you are talking about here. It basically falls into two categories, depending on the boxes women consider important. The first category is the 666 Chad/Tyrone boxes of him being 6 feet tall, making 6 figures, and having a six-pack, which women will find they have to share these men because there is an abundance of moist tacos out there craving their rare sour cream. The second category is when women say a guy ticks all the boxes because she settled, and not too long after that they think they deserve better and need to level up, i.e. let go and return to the dating market and look for your soulmate, Mr. Right, the perfect guy who is actually right for you. And like she said, queens have got to stay true to themselves, aka find your own truth, girl. And before any of you ladies come after me by saying she didn't state this specifically for women, let me point out the obvious. A, women overwhelmingly are the ones who initiate breakups in an attempt to find themselves, and B, men don't find her advice remotely relatable.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Moving on.
Yeah, see guys, women like this are an absolutely huge red flag, okay? This is a woman who just needs to spew her emotional gobbledygook all over the internet. Okay, and what she's talking about here is she's basically trying to justify ditching a man and trying to trade up in most situations. Okay, like Insolent Audit says, typically it's the women who are leaving relationships. I love how this works, okay? We date a guy for a year or quite a while, and then we say, you know what, this one particular behavior, I don't really like it, so I'm going to leave you now, and then I'm going to return to the dating market. Some of these women are so incredibly entitled, guys, that when something doesn't go their way, they just throw away their man, they throw away their relationship, and then they return to chasing after different kinds of chads. And then they wonder why they're single when they're 35 years of age, because they can't be content with anything. They have to always go chase the dopamine or the next guy who's quite physically attractive to them. Okay, and then they, guys, like I always say, they become content for the channel when they wind up at 35 years of age crying about how the fact that they can't get a man anymore. Let's keep going.
You never settle. When you go to acting crazy, when you go to acting a fool, when you go to asking for too much, when you go to doing too much, any little thing, a man will be up out of there. Men don't settle, and that's smart on their behalf. But women need to learn to stop settling. And the only way you're going to learn to not settle is to master your emotions. You got to move just like a man or you're going to lose. Men will get the on in 2.5, and in their mind, they know they got options. I don't know why women have in their head, oh my God, I'm this. Oh my God, I'm fat. Oh my God, I'm old. Oh my God, I'm this. Oh my God, I'm that. They put all of these scenarios in their head, Men don't move like that. They always know they got options. And that is how I want women to start moving. You do. You have a lot of options as a woman. You have so many options. So stop limiting yourself, because men don't settle. So therefore, you don't ever settle in your life.
I don't know about you guys, but I am so sick of seeing these quote unquote female dating coaches on TikTok just spewing absolute garbage. Okay, number one, men actually settle a lot, quote unquote settle. Men don't really use the word settle. Okay, it's typically women who use this word, but if you want to go down this road, men do quote unquote settle a lot. Why? Because we don't have these ridiculously high standards. Okay, we don't need some 10 out of 10, woman who does absolutely everything for us. A lot of guys will be happy with a girl. They will quote unquote settle with a girl who is simply not annoying and who doesn't eat a lot of McDonald's. The bar is incredibly low for women. So when you have a whole bunch of women who are single and who can't find a man, that actually says a lot more about the women than it does about the men. Okay, and this lady, quote unquote, also thinks that men have a lot of options. The average guy does not have a lot of options. Why? Because a lot of these women are so incredibly entitled that they view average men as completely below average. You can have a woman like this, guys, who makes these TikTok videos and who I would personally consider very damn annoying, and she would still have a whole bunch of dudes in her DMs. The average guy does not, right? He doesn't have a whole bunch of women in his DMs. So these people are so clueless. These are female dating coaches.
Women need to learn to stop settling. Really, Queen? Was that supposed to be a joke? With all that I deserve better, I need to find myself 70% plus divorce rate women do, and you think women are settling?
Mind you as well, did you guys catch the part how she says, men will just up and leave when you ask them for things like money, or I'm pretty sure she mentioned money in there. Again, guys, strong and independent, but at the same time, we need resources and we need money from men.
I would say women show a hint of delusion when they break up their families and get back on the carousel, dragging their kids along. Don't get me wrong, as I have said in previous audits, if you are in an actual abusive relationship, then get out. But ladies, the bulk of you masterfully put a guy who tells you not to spend your combined savings on some dream vacation with another guy who gives a woman a black eye every other month. Oh, you don't agree with that? Okay, tell us all in the comments about this amazing category you came up with called emotional abuse. I mean, I may be in the wrong here, but abuse where you have some deep psychological trauma because of something in the league of you witnessing an event that cost someone their life, being put on the same level with your ex once said, oh, one time he called me dumb, or he told me he can get someone better, or he didn't want me going out on a girls' night, or he told me to eat better because he wants someone that takes better care of themselves. That just doesn't seem like they are remotely equal. No way are they on the same footing, especially when men who have been married will attest to women dishing out just as much as they get when it comes to verbal arguments.
Yes, I am so sorry. You don't even know how sorry I am. I'm just being honest.
Moving on.
Take this piece of advice from me, okay? Because I have spent a long time in my life, over analyzing the way a man feels about me, men from my past.
I'm just going to pause it 2 seconds into the video. This is a very fast way that women will tell you that they're not relationship material and they've been with a whole bunch of dudes, right? If she's saying, oh, well, all of the past guys, I didn't know where I stood with them and I'm just so confused and men's behavior is such an enigma. In translation, she spent a bunch of time in situationships with dudes who didn't want to have a relationship with her. I tell you what, guys, some of these women just straight up, they will tell on themselves within 2 seconds and then decide to publicly post it to TikTok. It's amazing.
There is no man, in his right mind, that when he genuinely wants you and he genuinely likes you, he will let you feel confused. I have learned through trial and error in my life that men are just very simple creatures when it comes to going after what they want. And if you're confused or you're uncertain or you're unsure and you're getting mixed signals from a guy, I'm saying this because I love you, girl, you are just part of the roster. And this is also why I really think that if you're young, you really shouldn't be if you're dating, you shouldn't be just dating one person at a time, because That's like putting all of your power and all of your eggs in one basket, and then that leaves you getting heartbroken over some guy you knew for 3 weeks. And if you're confused, then you're probably like, yeah, he could think you're cute, he could be into you, but like, he's not someone that wants to pursue you all the way. Instead of like being self-conscious about that and just like wasting your time on this man that hasn't shown up for you the way that you want him to, you can just learn to walk away.
Tell us all you were on Chad/Tyrone's roster without telling us. Now, this young queen is giving out good advice. I admit that as in get off the roster. Unfortunately, most experienced men will say she is giving out advice she probably is not going to follow. Do I have to say why?
How come? Tell me why! Say it! Say it!
It's because no matter how much social conditioning women want to throw around, they can't dictate attraction. Come on, who are you trying to kid here? When women are young, free, and living their best life, do you actually think we are going to believe you are going to totally cut off all the bad boys for Mr. Boring Nice Guy? Please, there's a reason you were on the roster to begin with. And that's because all the traits Mr. Average Nice Guy has to offer, you consider gentle, sweet, and it makes you drier than the Mojave Desert. This isn't me complaining, this is me acknowledging reality. I mean, there's a reason the term hot girl summer exists, right? And after young women are done with their fun is when they decide to settle down. Now, there are some young women who wise up and marry a nice guy early, but that is a minority. Let's hear what else this former roster rep has to say on the matter.
Because at the
Before we continue, guys, I just love how this incredibly intelligent individual's solution to the problem, i.e. not being able to get commitment from men, is to date multiple dudes at the same time. It amazes me how these women just don't seem to realize that if you're dating multiple men at the same time, any man who has any level of self-respect, which is inevitably the men that you want in the first place, these men will not take you seriously. If a dude is out here and he's dating a woman and she's seeing 3 other dudes, you immediately put yourself into the for fun bucket only. Okay? I don't make the rules. This is the way it is. The majority of men will look at you and say, well, why would I date a girl? Why would I want to take a woman seriously who's out here seeing 3 other dudes while we're dating? Because let's be honest, she's not going to discontinue trying to get attention or at least validation from dudes while she's in a relationship with you. It's just absolutely hilarious how this woman's brain works. Men won't give me commitment. I'm going to go with the guy who gives me everything up front. You know, I'm not going to go and have fun with dudes who don't give me commitment. Okay, good advice. And then she follows it up by saying, well, I'm going to see multiple men at the same time in light of this. Just completely undoing any logic she had going. Right? We were logical for 0.2 seconds and it was going really well. And then we just had to say some dumb crap.
At the end of the day, like, dating when you're young is just like all about establishing like a filter system and just saying, okay, this isn't right for me, this guy's not right for me, he's not treating me the way I want, he's not consistent the way I want, okay, thank you, next. If you're confused, he's just not your guy. And instead of over analyzing his actions and trying to like make yourself feel better about your ego being hurt that like you're not chosen by him, you can just decide with yourself that like, okay, he didn't choose me, but that doesn't say anything because I choose myself. And you just keep working on yourself and you don't waste your time. It's something that you have to realize as a woman, your time and your energy is precious and that's your power. And if you waste it on dusty men, it's like they're sucking the life out of you. You can't give them your power like that. So if you're confused, just walk away. It's that simple. Just keep walking forward. Every single time that like you waste your time and just slither and overanalyze things that you know are really not right for you, you're just delaying what's meant for you to come in. So cut yourself the slack and just learn to walk away when you're confused or when you feel like you're finally, like, do not settle for something basically just because it's convenient, because it's just not worth it.
When you're young is when you develop your dating filter. It's almost sad. This is what the West has fallen to. You know, in an era long ago, fathers and older brothers were essential for young women to date. They were the filter you didn't have to develop to get you women to a good guy who would take care of you. No carousel ride devaluing required. But hey, you queens got your intimacy liberation, and I have heard from more than one woman that the ones who benefited the most from that liberation are the players.
Damn, skip me.
Here's a valid question for you strong, independent women. If you are giving up your taco to, quote, dusty men, what does that say about you? I mean, what is it about you that attracts and falls for Dusties?
Now that's a lot of damage!
I mean, if you're confused, whose fault is that exactly? The bad boy who cracked your taco, or you who gave consent to it because Mr. Average is boring, corny, and generally not hot? Listen, I understand completely being too inexperienced to be able to filter out something that's not going to end well. But don't women constantly claim men mature at a slower rate? If that's true, you should totally be running rings around those players, right?
How about new?
Moving on.
One of the really disgusting things, before we continue into this next clip here, okay? Let's just run it back. One of the really disgusting things about what this woman is saying here is she's saying, listen, throughout your 20s, you need to date and you need to continue to date in order to establish a filtration system so you can learn and understand what you want. Okay? But what these women don't realize is that, hey, if you want to spend your 20s, if you want to spend your youth going out here, dating a whole bunch of guys to see how, you know, what every flavor is like, and then you want to turn around when you're 30 and start looking for a good man, a lot of men will view you like a complete clown and they won't want to commit to you. Right? Because what essentially, I love how these people treat dating as though it's some sort of marathon. And then they wind up 30 years of age, surrounded by cats, you know, with their boxed wine, complaining, where did all of the men go? Why is it that men don't want to date me? Men don't want to take women seriously who have been around the block. It's embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing for a man. I said this last video, okay, but for a man to take you seriously and to take you out on dates, knowing that some guy has been with you and he didn't have to spend a single dime on you, is straight up embarrassing to a guy. Right? Imagine having a girlfriend, having a wife that if you walk around in public with her, she's an embarrassment. Right? And a lot of guys, they don't want to date some 30 or 35-year-old woman who has a ton of experience with dating. That's repulsive. It's absolutely repulsive. If you're so wise and you're so great, find your boyfriend now. You have enough options to do it. You could find a boyfriend and pluck him straight out of your Instagram DMs. But we're not there, right? Because we're addicted to bad boys. We want to keep chasing the dudes who make us feel uncertain and who don't care about us. You know the hack to all of this, guys? The hack to all of this is be attractive. If you're an attractive dude, everything just falls into place. None of this nonsense even matters. These girls like making videos, crying and complaining about how men won't commit to them. They're only talking about the dudes that they're attracted to. That's all they're talking about. But let's continue on to the next clip here, which I'm sure is an absolute banger. Let's take a listen.
My ladies out there, there will be a time in every woman's life, at least in the US, where you're going to wake up to the fact that you've been sold an absolute lie. And this time will likely occur after you have your first child or as you're approaching the age of 40. The closer you get, the closer you come to this realization. Why? It's because after you have your first child and when you get older, all of a sudden you enter a different bracket of society. You come from being a maiden who is really enjoying life and out there doing creative things, pursuing your career, getting your education, all the things that are valuable, right? To being someone who's absolutely forgotten by society. After I had my first kid, I realized that even though I had spent years planning for this decision, I knew that I would always have kids. And so I became an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for over a decade. And so even with the planning, and I have an amazing, gracious husband, partner, who also helps me. Regardless of that, I am still amazed at the zero level of support that I am given and that all my fellow moms out there are given.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
Say what now? Seriously, Colleen? Did she seriously just claim that as a mother, she has zero support right after saying her husband supports her? Oh, the mountain has come to Mohammed with this one. How desperate do you have to be in trying to paint yourself like a victim?
Very ironic, guys, that you have literally the most privileged group of individuals on the face of the planet crying about how they're not valued from society. Imagine how men feel. I love it, guys, because these are women, right, who they live their entire lives on easy mode, and then as soon as things don't go their way, as soon as they are treated a little bit like men, they jump on the internet and they cry and complain about it. This husband of hers, I do not feel envious of his position currently. Not at all. But she's complaining, right? And let me translate this, okay? The translation here is, number one, I want to be a victim. But number two, I don't get as much attention as I used to. That's what this means. Let's cut all the nonsense. Let's ignore all the parts that don't matter. She's upset because she doesn't get the attention like she used to when she was younger. Now that she's a mother and she has a kid and she's over the age of 40, I think she said 40, right? She doesn't get the same amount of attention as she did when she was in her 20s. So now, guys, she feels unsupported. And I love it when she lists this. She says that, you know, at the start of the video, she says, you know, the things that matter. And she mentions like career and nonsense, right? I don't know about you guys, but I would consider motherhood to be way more special than your level in a career field. Nobody's going to remember you for your career field, madam. Let me just put it to you that way. Nobody's going to remember you. Okay? But these women, they get it so mixed up where they think that the career is absolutely everything that matters. And hey, if your career matters that much to you, if it's a priority above family and above your husband, that's totally fine. But maybe don't get married and don't have a kid in the first place. Let's keep going with the video.
Several other programs in the US that would help her if she was a struggling single mom. Ladies, have you ever heard of, oh, I don't know, the Women, Infants, and Children Program, aka WIC? Or how about the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Program, aka TANF? Or how about Section 8 Housing Program? Let me post a snapshot of the Google search results I did for Program Assistance for Single Mothers.
This is absolutely hilarious. Let me read some of these before we continue with the video. So this is in America. I'm not in America, as you can tell by my terrible accent, right? So we've got childcare support, we have food programs, we have Head Start, medical assistance, cash assistance, family care, grant from Helsted, temporary assistance, housing assistance, energy assistance program, a Pell Grant, emergency food assistance, federal assistance programs, you have Medicare, you have Section 8 Medicaid, I don't know what that is, educational grants, the Salvation Army, you have emergency solution grants, you have Florida food banks, you have more mortgage and foreclosure help. Yeah, guys, you know, society just doesn't care about these single mothers. And by the way, isn't this woman married anyway? Like she's got a husband anyway, so what is she even complaining about? This is what I'm telling you guys. It's not actually about the things, right? What it's most about is the attention. Look at all this nonsense. Look at it all. It's crazy. And she's trying to sit here and claim that she's a victim and that she's oppressed and that society doesn't care about her. Get out of here, man. That is hilarious. So where's this for? Florida. Interesting.
These are just for the state of Florida, and there are over 20.
Impossible.
Not to mention child support that is enforced by the state. FYI, I did the exact same search for fathers, and the only program that came up was the Comprehensive Needs of Fathers Grant.
I love it. You search up assistance for single fathers, one thing comes up. What's this? The Comprehensive Needs of Fathers Grant will fund services that address the needs of fathers, such as assisting them in finding employment. That is, what a kick in the balls that is. Such as assisting them in finding employment, managing child support obligations, understanding child development, and enhancing parenting skills. So basically, men get back into the workforce, dog, make us some money treatment, and women get all the soft and cushy things. That is absolutely hilarious. And is this the exact same Google search? Let me check. So up the top, he's written program assistance for single fathers. Let's see what the woman's one was, if I can go back and find it. Program assistance for single mothers, yeah. So what is this, like over 20? And then for the dudes, we have 1, and it encapsulates basically paying the woman more, getting back in the workforce, and understanding child development. That's how much of a kick in the balls is that, guys? That is crazy.
Came up was the Comprehensive Needs of Fathers Grant. Fact check me with your own independent Google search, please. Sister, I suggest you check yourself before you wreck yourself.
God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Ladies, look, I am not saying being a single mother is a walk in the park. I am saying that to claim there is zero help for consequences of your own decisions is about as real as the last image filter you downloaded to your phone. And before any of you cry about your baby daddy doesn't always pay child support, remember these 2 things. 1, you chose him. That's on you. 2, go back to the list I posted. There's plenty of other help for you.
Yeah, boy.
Because
I just love how, guys, it's strong and independent until a bill comes. Then we need a man. Classic.
even though society says being a mom is one of the most important things that you can do, we cherish mothers. We cherish babies' lives. You will learn that that is all fake. You will learn that there is almost zero support for your mental, emotional, physical health. Okay, cool. You will learn that early childhood daycare for those women who want to return back to the workforce, to their careers that they spend most of their young years building, or their businesses that they spend many years building. You'll find that early childhood daycare is basically unaffordable and not very good. Not very good. And I won't even mention the other dangers out there, which you all know of. And so what do we do, ladies? You get angry, you get upset, but you get even. And this is what came so profoundly to me. We are the more powerful gender.
Am I the only one who thinks it's crazy that this woman is sitting here saying that she is the, women are the more powerful gender, but at the same time demanding support from other people? I'm so confused as to how this works. On the one hand, you're strong and independent, but on the other hand, you need more support. I'm confused, madam. Which is it? I love the level of cognitive dissonance that these women on TikTok have. They hold two thoughts at the same time that are completely contradictory, and they just don't see how they contradict each other at all. And then they decide to post these videos publicly available on the internet, guys. I've said this many times, but these videos are not hard to find. They are publicly available on TikTok, on YouTube. Actually, probably not as much on YouTube because, dudes will actually roast them for there. But a lot of these really censored platforms where you can't say anything negative like TikTok, these videos are absolutely everywhere. Why? Because the women can go out here, they can say all the negative nonsense they want to. But if you disagree on these platforms, then all of a sudden you're in trouble. But yeah, these are all publicly available. Okay, how very strong and independent of this woman to need more than the 20 assistance programs that she already has in the state of Florida alone. Amazing work, Queen. Amazing.
We are the more powerful half of the whole. Without us, they ain't nothing.
I feel really bad for this woman's husband. Like, what is this guy supposed to do? I genuinely, guys, the dudes who are in relationships with women like this, I fear for them. Because, I just get this feeling in the back of my mind that, hey, she's probably going to walk away with his kids at some point. She's probably going to try and take his assets. This strong and independent woman has a very real ability to take this man for his kids and his assets. That's very scary. And she talks like this.
And if you're interested, because TikTok only gives me 3 minutes now, I will leave another video of how we're getting even. Because it's our time to rise. We need to help each other.
Wait a minute. She literally is complaining about the difficulties of her own decisions. Ladies, seriously, do you think this is or should be a top priority when our society has a homeless population that is over 60% male and an unaliving oneself male rate that is 4 times higher than the female rate? And she wants to talk about the situation of being a single mother with 20 plus programs helping her is equal to having a hard time with her mental/emotional support. Ladies, do not take these statistical facts I just stated, links in the description by the way, as an attack on single mothers. Nope, it's an acknowledgement of which social issues actually have far less assistance than single motherhood with real-life drastic consequences. Look at it this way. The US is considered to be a first world country. As the saying goes, land of the free because of the brave. So ladies, tell me and every one of my viewers, how exactly can this woman make a video claiming that single mothers are the forgotten ones in this country when currently there are 33,000 plus homeless veterans, over 89% of them are male, with only one government program and a handful of charities doing a small part of work on their end, offering them any type of help. And all this queen can talk about in her rant is about getting even as if she was wronged for her own choices of.
Yeah, see, I can answer this question. You know, how does she feel comfortable making this video in light of these other statistics that Insolent Audits brings up? I can answer this question. The answer is she doesn't care. She's not interested. She doesn't care about veterans. She doesn't care about men's struggles. She doesn't care about the things that men go through. She doesn't see the privilege that she has. She doesn't see that all of this is her own doing. This is a woman, guys, who, if you watch this video, you come away with the conclusion that she doesn't actually care about her family. She values her career more than her family, which is fine, but don't have a kid. Right? If you're out here and you're like, my career, I want to put my kid back in daycare because I need to get back out into the entrepreneurial field because I don't receive enough assistance, even though my husband's doing everything, right? If you're this woman, maybe don't have a kid in the first place. If you're someone who values other things above your child, probably not a good idea to have a child. And once again, guys, these women, particularly the ones that make videos like this, they don't care about men's struggles. What it's really all about is about attention and about losing attention from men. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to take care of yourselves. Don't forget to leave a comment. What do you guys think? Do you think that this woman is strongly independent? Let us know down below. And as always, guys, I will see you all in the next episode. Peace.